It has bells.
Yes.
And whistles.
Sheree can't see us right now for some reason, so that's unfortunate.
Can anyone else see us? Is it?
Well, I think everyone else is.
Or is it? Or can no one see us?
You want to check in the chat?
Sheree can't hear either.
Do you want to try typing in the chat, seeing if people can see us okay? I'm seeing excellent connection. It's showing us on this end. So, if you can... Okay, so it was a little bit of a delayed...
Okay. Hi, guys! And we threw our glasses already.
Yes. So, alright, like I said, we're experimenting with different streaming software for the first time.
Well, like you said, but they didn't hear, because nobody could hear.
So...
Starting over again.
This is our first time working with Streamlabs. With Streamlabs. Syncing it up with YouTube.
Hey, Este's here.
Hello, Este. Nice to see you. Este's a cool dude. I believe he dubs many things to be fire, which is the lingo used by the young people.
The kids they call things fire.
The youthful generation.
Because we used to call things lit, and then we used to call things the icon of a flame, and now we call things fire, and that's how that happened, I think.
But I think before that we would say that things were on fire before we called them lit.
Yeah. So
and before that they were smoking. So it started with smoking on fire, lit emoji, fire. I think is how that all works.
Streamlabs is actually related to this week's big announcement.
Yes, I figure we can...
We're trying it for a reason.
Yes, I want to try something new next week. So, next week, as many of you may know, will be the 90th episode of Power Reviews. It's been a long time coming. I've got a lot of work left to do on it in the next week.
But it is due out on Friday.
But it is due out next Friday. And next Saturday is the return of Power Rangers Beast Morphers to Nickelodeon, with episode 10, the Evox Snare, or episode 32, or however you want to number them. 9, 10, 32, something like that. The return of this for the second half of Beast Morphers. So that's going to be September 19th. And following that, I want to do something special. I want to do something new, and I'm doing a little experimenting with our streaming to try and make that possible.
Because right now, all y'all, you come and you watch us, and there's not much interaction, because we don't use anything to allow interaction, really, aside from...
We've got the chat, which is lovely.
Which comes from YouTube.
But we want to step it up.
Lets us do more.
And as we have said before...
thank you, Devious.
We're very passionate... And yes, thank you. Congratulations. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see Mayo's shirt this week.
It's down on the bump. It says
loading. Please wait. Yes, my coworkers at the tutoring center that I've been working at for the last several years surprised me with sort of a mini baby shower today. It was kind of amazing.
Thank you all. I've seen all the stuff you brought back.
It was really sweet and really impressive. So what I want to do to sort of commemorate the 90th episode of Power Reviews and the return of Beast Morphers is I want to do a special stream. Not our traditional live reactions. This is going to be big. This is going to be extensive.
No.
I'm still coordinating certain aspects of it. I had to kind of take a break from doing that because school kicked in this week. But I'm going to try and resume that throughout the next week while finishing episode 90. I want to do a charity stream. Specifically, I want to do a charity stream that extends the entire weekend. From 9 a.m. From 9 a.m. on Saturday, Eastern Time, to 9 p.m. on Saturday, Eastern Time, and then kicking off again, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Sunday, again, Eastern Time. And during those, 2 12-hour shifts, I want to react to every episode of the first season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So, I'm going to be watching every episode of the first season on Netflix, reacting to it. And we'll be doing a live stream of my reactions, chatting with you guys in the chat, bringing in special guests to join in the discussion with me, because MJ is going to be at work.
I work.
And I've got a few people who've already expressed an interest. I intend to promote this throughout the week. And specifically, yes, I have seen all of Season 1. This will be more of a discussion of it. It's not going to be my first time reacting to it, obviously. That was when I was 8. But I figured that it'd be something where everybody can enjoy. It seems like something that would be very accessible for people to come in. I'm not doing the reversioning. No. It seems like something that would be very accessible for a large group of people to be able to come in. So not just our traditional crew, but anyone that we're able to bring in. Because I want to do a charity live stream where we raise money for, and yes, Estee, I got,
hit us up.
He's already hit me up, so we're going to try and get you on there. Once I figure out how the whole Skype thing works, you're on my list, sir. I want to raise money specifically for the restoration of voting rights. There's this great organization called the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition. And I want to make sure I get the name correct as I'm saying that.
FRRC.
But I'm going to be. It's for WeGotTheVote.org. Is
Florida Rights Restoration Coalition. Yes.
Yes. And this is to help raise money to restore rights to voters in Florida. Florida, as you know, is always a major swing state, and there's a large number of people who were denied voting rights in a recent sort of weird little legislative workaround. I'm going to talk more about that, but basically that's what I really want to try and raise money for. It's something that has a concrete effect on who can vote.
Yeah, they're
in the
literally
next election.
being stopped by an inability to pay money.
Yes, and there are people who are pushing for legislative solutions to that. But there's a question on whether it'll go through in time, whether it could be corrected in time. So
for this year's election season.
I know that the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition has made it about a third of the way to their goal. When I checked on them about a week ago, they were about a quarter of their way to the goal, so I really think that we could help contribute to them moving forward. Yes, it is a constitutional crisis, but it is something that is a debatable aspect. These are people who were felons, served their time, and there was a ballot measure stating that they would be able to vote again. But then the Florida government decided that they needed to pay off of all their legal fees first, which many people are arguing is a poll tax.
And a poll tax is unconstitutional, like Sheree said.
But it's debatable whether it's considered a poll tax, and so that's why it's a legal battle.
Arguing about it.
And it's been a legal battle for the better part of the last 2 years when the ballot measure was put forward.
And by the legal fees, they don't mean they need to pay their own lawyers, who they mostly have paid.
Yeah,
they need to pay back the court for the court's time in the trials they have.
Yeah, so it's a lot of money that a lot of people don't have. And I think if we all chipped in a little bit, I think that we can make, like, a decent effect on that. If nothing else, if we can together get at least a few more people the right to vote, I think that would be fantastic. So that's what I want us to dedicate next weekend to.
One person, one vote.
Exactly. So that's our big announcement. That's what we're looking at doing next week. So we won't be doing our standard live reactions next week. It's not going to be me and MJ. You're going to be seeing 24 hours of me next week.
In two 12-hour chunks. And in between those 12-hour chunks, you are going to sleep.
Yep. And because I'm going to have to teach again on Monday. So you're going to see me in a total of 24 hours that weekend talking about the first season of Power Rangers with other Power Rangers fans, and we'll see who we can get for our guests for that. With Estee already being signed up on board, and a few others as well, who I just gotta lock it down.
We don't want to name drop anyone until they're absolutely, confirmed that we can
gotta work out everybody's schedules.
At times.
So,
I mean, I'll probably drop in at some point. because I won't be at work for the entire 12 hours each time.
Yep. And that's going to be starting 9 a.m., so shortly after Beast Morphers.
9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I always forget if it's Eastern Standard, Eastern Daylight, so I just call it Eastern Time.
We're back on Standard. Or we're about to be back on Standard.
Yeah, so just Eastern Time, whatever the Eastern time is right now.
What? How does one sign up to be a part of this?
Message me.
Message me.
So you can make if you want to be a part of it, you can make mention of things in the comments below. Message me on Twitter. I'm happy to have however many people I can get. There are 60 episodes of the first season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. If I can get in 30 different people, that would be amazing. Awesome. And then if everyone who comes on can also donate some money, that would be fantastic. We can make a huge difference, I think. So that's our goal for next week.
That's good, Athena.
Good to hear that the skies around you aren't red. That is something that...
When will the next live reactions for Beast Morphers be?
That would be the following week. So
we'll pick right back up the week following.
So, you know what? I've been chatting about this for 10 minutes now. I'm sure a lot of you guys are here for some Beast Morphers. So let's kick off again with our three non-controversial statements. Starting things off. Say it with me, chat. Black Lives Matter. Next up, say it with me, chat. Fascism is bad. And third up, say it with me, chat. Superheroes are fun. And with that all said, let's dive into the 40th episode of Power Rangers Beast Morphers, the Silva Switch. Ooh.
So, Nate's getting switched with someone.
Yep.
I guess. Pizza is yummy. That is also non-controversial. Although if you try and bring pineapple into the situation, it becomes a discussion.
What's going to happen to this ice cream? How did you get... What is with... How... This is a very strange ice cream machine. It drops out,
scooped ice cream cones.
Nothing is prepackaged or anything. Also, Steel, you're being adorable. Aww.
Oh, is he going to switch bodies with Steel?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, he's been experimenting. Oh, my.
Wear a dang mask. Yes.
Yeah.
We have started.
The way it just drips down my hand. I mean, that was so cute.
I mean, if they could fix...
They were able to fix, Chaku, Captain Chaku. So... What? Oh, he's shorting out due to the ice cream. What's he doing? Oh, dear. Oh, man. Oh, man. What? What does that mean? What does DNA transfer mean? Does that mean you switch bodies, or does that mean something else? Did they just switch bodies? They just switched bodies. Yep, they switched bodies.
3D All-Stars?
What's it?
Actually, it's going to start on Saturday morning, but I don't know what 3D All-Stars is.
Well, next Friday is going to be the release of episode 90 of Power Reviews, and then the next day is Beast Morphers. Cute. Ooh. This is actually a much better dub job than what we saw with the last time we did this. Like, Freaky Fight Day was really awkward with the dubbing of the switched bodies.
Oh, the Mario game for Switch.
But this is actually working pretty well. Yep.
Yes.
This is interesting. Whoa! But it helps that Steel is such a bombastic character, and that his actor is a voice actor. So the bombastic character means that he's very clearly enunciating all of his words when Abraham Rodriguez is playing as Steel, while at the same time,
guys,
a
rare appearance.
The voice actor. Oh, hey Frankie, how you doing, little bud? So, but while the voice actor is able to then ADR him very well because he's,
voice actor.
It's a much better pairing than when we had, the switch of regular actors.
Athena says props to Abraham here.
Yeah, it's Rangers, bow, wow, go go Power Rangers, bow, go, bow, go, it's morphin' time. For justice we fight, with beast morphin' might, together we rise. Go go Power Rangers, go go Power Rangers, Power Rangers beast morphers.
He knocked down the bit of sissel post that holds that lamp up.
Okay.
Lamp's gonna fall.
Alright. It seems to be okay, so long as Frankie doesn't mess with it any farther.
That lamp doesn't really stand on its own. Hi, Oliver. Yes, exactly, Mr. Allen.
Wow.
We were discussing about that.
Blaze.
Their combined efforts, by their powers
this is
combined,
the first time I think we've seen.
The voiceover doesn't suck.
Yeah. I think this is the first time that we've seen Robo-Blaze in his humanoid form with his Robo-Blaze sword, because last season we saw him break out his traditional form sword, but now he's got the rapier instead. That's pretty spiffy.
A lot less solo villain fights this season. Yeah.
Oh, so cute. Nate's getting an idea for how difficult it is to be Steel. I mean, there's some benefits to being a robot. Whoa! We just saw regular Blaze for like a quick second there. And Roxy's here.
Dude, Nate, can you try and have a little bit of a better attitude? You're going to be back in your own body later today.
Yeah.
You can surf anytime.
He wants to taste
So I can taste each flavor.
I mean, it's probably healthy. Okay, let's see what he thinks. Wow.
Don't drink the whole thing,
brain
dude.
freeze, dude. You're gonna get brain freeze. Wow. You're gonna make yourself sick very quickly.
You need to have smaller amounts of the rest of them, or you are going to get sick.
Okay. What is happening? What is happening? What is happening? What? What is happening? This is a first. What? You're dressed like you're in the. What? What?
Yeah, no, another song and dance did not come close to this.
This is completely unlike anything that.
This is an actual musical number.
This is something that's not caused by a spell. This is just happening. Like, they didn't get sent to an alternate musical dimension. They're just having a musical number.
Is this a dream?
I don't know.
Is Steel dreaming?
What?
Okay, well, we're to believe that at least some of that happened, but the costume changes did not.
I don't know. I don't...
Since they're all acting
The
like...
diegetics of that situation are completely unknown to me right now.
Yes. Bye, Jumpman.
Oh, have a good one.
Most of it was in Steel's head, but he was singing, which is why everyone else acknowledged it.
So, from now on, I'll try to remember how lucky I am just to be alive.
Okay. This is, like, bizarre but heartwarming.
Incredibly. It's great to be humored.
No way. This Robotron and I have been...
Definitely been having a few glitches here.
Instead of my usual Gatorade, today I am indulging in some orange and cream soda.
Yeah.
Tastes like a creamsicle.
That was remarkable.
You do not underestimate the flower power.
That's... Like... And I feel like Blaze and Roxy were just there because they wanted to be part of the dance number. That's the reason they were at the gym. So the actors could be included. That also looked like the most fun that they had through the whole season, I imagine.
I find it interesting that the first time we had anything remotely close to a diegetic music video didn't involve one of the several characters who've had music careers.
Hmm. Well, I mean, we had.
We've had concerts.
Okay, I will step that back. We did have a diegetic music video in Dino Thunder with them actually filming a music video in universe for Kira, but nothing like that where like we fell into full on musical logic.
Yeah.
Without the excuse of magic.
And the character involved was not even a canonical musician.
Yeah. That was amazing. Like, it was also
Tanya
just...
had a music video interrupt the episode ending back in Zigo.
It was also just like a straight up like good musical number too.
Yeah, it was.
And I will again. Tanya did have they sort of again made a music video for her because she was trying to have a music career in that episode. Song Sung Yellow is what I'm assuming you're referring to. But that was so crazy.
It's a pity that Steele's day as a human has to keep getting interrupted like this.
Yeah. I'm curious.
Yes, Jake can remember episode titles like
yeah,
that.
that's one of my personal specialties.
Yeah.
Now note, I'm not as good as I used to be. I used to be better.
145.
145. Oh, what? Episode 145? Rangers in Reverse.
See.
Oh, wait. No. Yeah, 145 is Rangers in Reverse. I wanted to make sure I wasn't confusing with 155 for a moment there. 155 is Hog Day Afternoon Part 2. Nice! Oh, and he's gotten his Morphex power-up, so he's actually, like, capable of doing damage now.
Enter Unite.
This was when this was when his Sentai counterpart Enter first got this form. And actually, was intimidating in this form.
Green Courage remains a silly name for an episode where Damon isn't exactly required to show courage or anything.
I mean, he kind of did, but it was really. Well, what do you want to call it? If you're gonna, if we wanted to be more accurate, I guess we could call it green mechanical expertise. But I feel like Green Courage just kind of flows a little better.
Yeah. He still has Enter stamped on his forehead.
Yep. And Roxy's had Escape stamped on her this whole time. Woo! Spinny.
Could have gone with Green's Gambit since he pulled a fast one off the Keener.
That's fair. That is fair.
KK bringing truths.
Oof. That's not necessary.
Rude.
Why? Okay, now, I know the deal in the Sentai, why this was a thing,
right,
but
for Blaze, it don't make no sense.
He's just
Aside
getting
from the fact that Blaze,
very arrogant right now.
Yeah.
Oof. Now, one thing that was interesting was back in the Go Busters episode, this episode was focused actually very heavily on that monster that got really shortchanged. Because that was during the Messiah card arc. And one of the big things with that card was that it supposedly had some of the data from the Gold Ranger, who was an avatar. I don't know how happy he's going to be, considering you just pointlessly destroyed a monster and left the Rangers. Okay, Gigadrone time.
Gigadrone! It's been a while since we've seen a Gigadrone.
Yeah. Oh.
You're destabilizing.
Right.
Y'all gotta go fight alone. These two need to go back and get switched.
Oh, this is interesting. I wonder...
Oh, you're gonna handle the Gigadrone while potentially disintegrating. Okay.
It's an excuse for the Sentai footage, I think, because as I said, the card had some of the Gold Ranger's data in it.
Oh yeah,
I do have to say, just going back in, that was a pretty fantastic musical number. Like, just all around, just well produced, well done. Like, I don't think I've seen...
Can I download that on iTunes?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen Power Rangers do too many musical numbers of that quality. Yeah. Megazords having other Zords as their vehicles, I've always found to be just generally cool. I did fan. I worked on a fan fiction series way back in high school with some people, and if we'd ever gotten around to progressing far enough through it, the Ultrazord would have had the Megazord riding a hoverboard. You basically using a battleship as a hoverboard.
We've gotten a song in every PR incarnation since Samurai.
That's fair. I'm trying to remember what we got for Ninja Steel. I'm forgetting at the moment. Ooh. Oh no! Oh, never mind. What's wrong with me? Levi, of course. Yeah, exactly. Like, I blanked for a moment there, and then I'm like, think for like half a second. I'm like, oh right, the Gold Ranger was a professional country singer. What's wrong with me? They had that whole Family Fusion number, and then we had the NZ boys in Dino Charge, and then Everyday Fun just got repeated between Samurai and Super Super Megaforce.
All we wanna do is have fun.
I like our version better.
That's the one I'm remembering. One.
That's right. Emma had a flower song. I mean, still nothing topped the level of production that was in that. Like a full-on song and dance number.
That looked like it walked straight out of the Drowsy Chaperone.
Yeah. It was amazing.
You yelled about her song making flowers bloom.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. It's been a few years.
I still get flashbacks to more Potsners too.
Yeah.
All we want to do is have fun.
But this was something just so far beyond anything that they'd done before with music.
I'm sorry, we can't wait. I know you've had a lot of fun, but it's dangerous for us to spend any more time in each other's minds.
That's fair.
Well, okay. But just so you know, it really has been the best day of my life.
Aw.
You know what I just realized?
What?
Nate's the one who's going to have to deal with the fallout of drinking all those smoothies.
Fair enough.
We're just about to begin. Let's get into position.
Okay. This is just a nice little episode.
Go ahead, Zoe. Ready, brother? Thank you, Nate.
Good thing they got that big red button. And seriously, this device can just do so many things.
Seriously.
Oh boy, am I glad to see these hands again. Well, I guess we're back to normal. I'm half robot again. You mean half human? Still, what happened to us was an
Goodness, can you get... it's probably not picking her up.
But you said adding that much energy was hard. Hard, but not impossible. I'll find a way to amp up the system and
The last official PR Music iTunes release was the Dino Charge theme.
Okay.
So, we can't get this song in here.
Human or half robot, you're 100% one of us.
Yeah.
Aw, you guys are 100% fantastic.
This was just sweet. This was just a cute episode.
It's Pokemon!
I'm just gonna keep reeling over that musical number though, because that
It's
thing.
UK Pokemon, where Ash has been in Pokemon Trainer for something like 6 or 7 years now, and he still looks 11 years old.
I can't think of a musical number on Power Rangers that I've enjoyed like to that level since like Kira and Dino Thunder. That was amazing. Oh wow. So yeah, that was an enjoyable episode.
Oh, it's a great
In just being a really fun romp. And I do enjoy it when Power Rangers just decides to have a fun romp, and that's what this one was.
This was a fun romp.
Like you guys might remember how well we reacted to catching some rays back in
23 years.
Back in Power Rangers Dino Supercharge. At least I think he started back in '96 actually.
Why does he still look like an 11-year-old? He's Bart Simpson.
Inside one of those Pokeballs is a portrait of a very, very ugly-looking 40-year-old. That's how that works.
Somebody else just said,
"Why does Bart Simpson?" Not necessarily. You know what? No, not why does Bart Simpson not age, but just why does Bart Simpson? Just that I think is a philosophical question. It's an opening expression. That was just fun. That was just. I think that was just a good episode to sort of end on for a little bit because we are taking a break next week.
2 weeks from now.
And then we're getting into the final 4 episodes of the season. But wow. That was just... There was so much joy in that episode. Like, I try to think back to how I've reacted to other similar types of episodes. And I do think back to to a few different episodes in Power Rangers Dino Supercharge. Freaky Fight Day, which similarly had the, body swap premise with the switching of voices, but the switching of voices was just so much cleaner here.
Much cleaner.
And again, that comes down to the nature of the characters. The fact that Steel is such a bombastic character makes him...
So Abraham just played him to the gills with great enunciation.
And then it made it much easier for the ADR to carry through with the character who...
Is ADR anyway.
So we don't have this disconnect between the actor who's playing him and the actor's face we normally see.
Predictions for the finale arc? They're gonna beat Evox.
I don't want to make any predictions, specifically because I think we've both heard minor potential spoilers that we don't know how much there's truth to them yet.
I'm just saying, it seems like at the end of every Power Rangers season, they beat the bad guy.
Right.
So I'm gonna go with they beat Evox.
I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing some footage from the Christmas episode of Go Busters. I think that would make for a really cool looking fight if we get that. Some stuff from like episode 30 of Go Busters I don't think we got the first time. The big showdown with Blaze's counterpart. I know Roxy's counterpart gets some more cool stuff from the source material, so I'm looking forward to seeing...
Maybe in the finale they can also make Steel human.
If one of the interesting things about Go Busters was that it had what seemed like several false finales, and although they did use a good chunk from the first false finale, episode 30, in the first season finale of Beast Morphers, they didn't use all of that episode, and they didn't use the other false finales from later. Because, as we've established, Blaze and Roxy get destroyed all the time. And Robo Blaze and Robo Roxy get destroyed all the time and keep coming back. And that was a major thing with their counterparts, where it was less so that, they were just recyclable, and more so that it made them more and more intimidating once they discovered, oh wait, we can destroy them and they'll come back. How do we stop these people?
Yeah, they're like... It's like Darkonda, only worse.
Yeah, so they got to have several... So each time that they thought they had destroyed those characters was a big battle and seemed like a bit of a false finale. And we haven't utilized any of those yet. So instead of it being we defeat them, but then they come back and then we have a few more defeats and then it's the end. Instead, we're having those later defeats repositioned earlier, leading up to the big defeats that were the initial defeats in the other version. So we're kind of flipping things around. But that means we can, I think, expect some spectacle from these final 4 episodes. Because I can think of a good handful of episodes with a good amount of spectacle that we haven't seen yet.
It's true.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Let's stop this crime. It's Morphers.
That was... Another song and dance is...
Start with the theme song.
It was so fun to review. It was tremendously fun to review.
Morons on a boat. Haven't got a clue. Funny, because they like to think they're both gumshoes.
But it is also one of those episodes that when you revisit it, doesn't necessarily hold up, right? Not because the premise is so wacky or the performances are so cringy. Those are actually like in the so bad it's good category where it's just really funny and enjoyable, entertaining. It's more so that the pacing of the episode is rather weak, and the resolution of the conflict is just sort of hand waved.
Which is our favorite song from the parody? Oh, what, from the review of...
Oh, from when we did our parody? I mean, I enjoyed doing all of that.
I really do like Morons on a Boat.
That is a fun one. Another good one is It's the End of Angel Grove as We Know It. That one came out really good. Dancing Zords Dance. We just had so much fun with all those numbers. I honestly kind of wish I could re-record that review, just because I know that I could do better if I hadn't tried to perform it within a few days of writing it. I like to think I have a halfway decent voice, but I do require a fair amount of rehearsal to really get where I'd like to be performance-wise. And some musical direction would be good from somebody who actually knows what they're doing, except who's not, I don't know what I'm doing. We were just trying to do it
you have
together.
a good voice, you just don't have an ear for tone very well.
Yeah.
So you need someone to work with you. Like when we do musicals on stage,
yeah.
You work with the musical director.
Yeah.
And you sound great.
I audition pretty weak, but then my performance is generally pretty strong.
Unfortunately, the video was a little bit more of the audition side of things because we didn't have a musical director.
Yeah. So I was definitely flat in plenty of those numbers.
I am not a good musical director.
I loved all the lyrics that I wrote. I love writing spoof songs. I'm just not great at performing them. Same thing with our one year more was I was trying to musical direct that whole thing karaoke style and lay in the music afterwards and edit it all together, and I think it came out fun, but I'm not going to pretend that everything matched up particularly well vocally. So I recognize how challenging it can be to do a full-on musical number, and this brought the energy. This was really fun. This, I would say, I think it's fair to say this is the most fun episode of the season so far.
Definitely.
Probably one of the most fun episodes we've seen of Power Rangers in a fair while.
I mean, my jaw was on the floor, but still.
Yeah, it was, and because it was, wait, this is happening.
This is
and they're nailing it. They're kind of nailing it.
And then the costume changes, and then the 90s music video thing. And
they went hard.
And it's wow.
And I look back on some other musical numbers that we've seen, with, in Family Fusion with Power Rangers
and
Ninja
we saw
Steel.
Roxy 2 episodes in a row.
That song was very sweet. It was a fairly generic kind of song about family that's, but it was sweet and it was an emotional moment. So it was not a spectacle, because that's not what it was supposed to be. I think back to, the whole I Travel the World, Turn It Upside Down musical number between Tyler and Shelby. That was sweet, but it also felt like okay, I'm not always into, as much as I like musical numbers, I'm not always into how they're incorporated into TV shows, because a lot of times it just feels uncomfortably out of place.
Kind of felt like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yeah, this just went so hard that it worked.
It was like they were in a musical.
Like the Tyler and Shelby audition, it was like, okay, they're laying in ADR for something that's supposed to be happening clearly diegetically, clearly in universe, and it's just feeling a little unnatural. Like, it's sweet, and I see the intention was supposed to be showing them having chemistry as a couple, but it was very poppy and not my personal taste. Whereas this was
a show tune.
This was a show tune. And you know what? I like show tunes.
We love show tunes.
We've done a lot of theater, and they and at first I wasn't sold at first where they were going with that. Like, I'm like, okay, now he's gonna start singing. Oh, that's a little awkward. Oh, some people are gonna start dancing with him, and then I'm like, oh no, wait, no, they are committing. They are committing so hard, and that's how you need to do it. If you're going to have a musical number in your show, you need to go hard. And
I mean, they brought out a tuxedo with gold stripes.
They had tuxedos, they had 50s garb, they had this just infectious joy
props.
of energy.
Chocolate cake.
Like, they had it moving fast, they had that good quick pacing, like,
amazing.
Oh man. I'm that made the episode. It made the episode sing. It really did. I'm just
glowing. You're
glowing over that. That was
pregnant, but you were glowing.
I've never seen Power Rangers like commit to a musical number like that before. Like, that felt theatrical. In a real way.
I mean, it was totally theatrical. Did you see the choreography?
Yeah. Like, that was amazing.
The whole restaurant was in on it. Or juice bar.
Like, yeah, they had them lift him up and spin him around. I'm like,
this is happening.
And everybody's just rolling with it, and he's just leading it. Like, and yeah, and I gotta say, Abraham Rodriguez really sold it today in this episode. Like, this was his episode. He owned it hard with his performance. And you know what? So did Jamie Lenehan as the voice of Steel. Like, those two together created a fantastic character of Steel in Nate's body. Jamie Lenehan apparently has a great voice.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Some pipes
I mean, not
guy.
just a voice for performance, but a voice for singing.
Were there any Ben and Betty gags? Well, they did turn up in the music video.
They were a part of the music video.
In their tuxedos.
But yeah, the screw up.
I would love a behind the scenes of that.
The screw up that caused the brain switch wasn't their fault.
No, that was Steele's ice cream encrusted arm's fault.
And that was such a good use of acknowledgement of things from past episodes. Like, we've established he has a detachable hand. They've used it as a gag before. So seeing that happen doesn't just come out of nowhere. It feels like, oh yeah, he has a detachable hand. That is something that would happen with that.
I think he stole it from Tonight's 7.
You know, the fact that they've experimented with using the neuralizer
to turn robots human, or partial robots human.
Yeah, to turn a partial robot human has been done before, so it makes sense within that context that they'd continue. Like,
does he have stage
they're
training?
committing to the things.
I don't know, but I would not be surprised based on that performance.
A lot of them felt like they must have theatrical backgrounds with the way that they.
The thing of it is,
really sold
I think
a lot of actors
do.
A lot of actors do. That's where you start.
And here's the thing: these are younger individuals. A lot of people who went into acting as their main and first career do have both theatrical and screen acting credits. A lot of times when people are solely screen actors, it's because they fell into it later in life.
Or very, very young.
Well, no, I mean, like, really fell into... Oh,
Right.
you mean, like, child stars.
Like child stars.
Yeah. But people who, say, for example,
Yeah.
went to university for acting usually get both kinds of experience.
Oh, nice little tidbit from rotisserie. Apparently Zoe and Devin's actors met when they were 13 in a dancing class. That's cool. But yeah, also, that's another thing about Power Rangers is a lot of times you get people who have dance backgrounds, and you very rarely get to see that actually employed
As dance.
rather
You
than action
frequently
choreography.
see it, yeah, being parlayed into action choreography, which is why it's always the people with the martial arts skills and the dancers who wind up making the best unmorphed fighters.
I definitely would love to see Steel and Tanai 7 have an arm wrestling
Hand-to-hand combat.
hand-to-hand combat. Let's see them have an arm wrestling match. See how that goes. They could just walk away,
Lots
have
of
some
actors
drinks, come
dancing
back.
too doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it the way that she carries herself, the way that a lot of the actors carry themselves suggests theatrical background. There's a certain level of theatricality in their performances where you're just like, yeah, I totally believe you were the musical theater kid. You look at Blaze and Roxy, yeah, they were musical theater kids. You look at Nate, you're a musical... Nate and Zoe, you look at them, you were the musical theater kids.
A lot of it has to do with, and I was actually watching an interesting video the other day that was by somebody who was in a totally other show. So it was a science fiction show that they were in, and they had a lot of prosthetics because they were an alien.
Yep.
And they were discussing how many actors rely on their face.
Right.
And that when you have prosthetics, you need to use your whole body.
Yeah.
And using your whole body is something that theater teaches you.
Exactly.
So you can see it in the way people use more of their body to act.
Film performance is generally a lot more subtle. It's about conveying very real emotions in a very real way, where it's very subtle and you need to be able to convey things with subtlety. How the way that real emotions would be conveyed and at the level that real emotions would be conveyed. When you are on a stage, you need to heighten all of that. Because you are playing to the cheat sheets. You need to be able to project your voice. You need to accentuate every expression. Every hand motion is part of what you're conveying.
And you see that skill a lot with suit actors.
Yes. And with kid shows in general, if we have live action, because it's to convey them to younger audiences who don't have that same emotional development is another thing.
Even the
but yes, suit actors absolutely.
Even morphed rangers who are not like rubber.
They are acting with their bodies.
They're still very much acting with their bodies.
You look back, if you look back, especially at like season 3 of Mighty Morphin, you know those suit actors, I'm sure, were just hamming it up the whole time because they were.
That's
none
how you
of them
play
are
from behind giant rubber.
None of them are the voices of their characters, so they're just having crazy fun with these suits.
They know what they're supposed to be saying. They're probably actually saying it and getting dubbed over, so the actors know when to respond. But it's all about the body.
Yeah. Yesterday was Rory Travis's birthday. So
happy birthday, Devin!
Happy birthday to Devin.
One exercise that is often used in acting classes that I did a lot of when I was taking acting classes as a younger person was what they call mask work.
That's right.
They basically they take a mask that has a completely flat expression on it, and you put that on, and then you practice making the face look different by moving your body. Not because you tilt it or something and it looks different, but because the expression on it is so neutral that it takes on whatever your body does. So you slump your shoulders, and and they look disappointed, and you go, and the face looks happy. Yeah. And that is the same skill that's being used for, you know who does a really great job of it is who's ever inside that suit for Poisandra.
Oh, yeah, she's great.
Poisandra is playing to the cheap seats.
Oh, big time. Big time. But that's the reason that when we did Wizard of Oz together a few years back.
Yes.
And you played Toto.
I did.
And you totally owned the role of Toto. It was great.
I inhabited a dog.
You just had little pigtails for the ears.
Yes.
And you just held yourself in a way that really worked.
It's just down here. Yeah. I actually stole that from Cats. If you ever watch Cats.
Yes, that was very much a Cats kind of posture.
I was playing dog as Cats.
Steel suit actor as a circus performer, I totally believe that.
I believe that 100%. Because
I-
a clown knows how to do mask work.
Yes, big
Because
time.
mask work comes from mime.
Yes.
And every clown can mime.
Absolutely.
Real clowns. I'm not talking about, like, birthday party clown necessarily. I'm talking...
Circus clowns. Which is
proper,
not to
if you
downplay
went to clown college,
birthday party clowns have their own skill sets, but circus clown is a very there is a lot
there's
that goes
such a
into
thing
that.
as clown college.
Yes.
And to be a circus clown, you got to go to clown college.
Oh yeah, V for Vendetta, Hugo Weaving sold so much in that. It was so good.
Yes, that's entirely mask work.
That is my favorite Hugo
I
Weaving
was actually
performance.
incredibly surprised to find out that at first that it was in fact Hugo Weaving the whole time.
Yeah.
I figured that they would,
That he was just the voice.
that they would use the fact that they didn't have his voice to pay him less.
Right.
By putting someone else behind the mask, but he did the whole thing.
But I think he just has fun with the science fiction and sci-fi stuff.
I think
with the sci-fi and
you may
fantasy
have actually been too out of the loop to know what Dino Fury rumors
No,
are.
I know what people are talking about. There are
Jake
rumors that
Okay.
the actors have been leaked. I generally don't have too much opinion on casting with regards to Power Rangers, just because Power Rangers casts unknowns, generally speaking.
I mean, I think the last time we had a major opinion was Peter Sidarso.
Like Peter Sidarso was
We
a
were
major
like,
moment
yes,
because
another Sidarso!
because of that.
Because the Yoshi, the brother for brother, blue
Yeah.
for blue thing, but
And then, I do enjoy when there's added diversity, like with Beast Morphers, when we discovered for the first time that we were not going to have any just straight up white male rangers, which I think is a first. Like the fact that it was a 3-ranger team, with majority non-white, with majority people of color as the actors, was a nice change up. Again, same thing I tried to do in Grid Defense, so I find that funny.
that's true.
Yeah, Grid Defense.
You had Riley, though. Your red was...
My red was a white guy,
In this case, it's
but I
yellow,
still had people of color for my other 2 rangers.
Right. In this case, it was Zoe.
Yeah. So they different balance. So we kind of beat them to it, but then again, we kind of beat Beast Morphers to a lot of things just because we did
you
it
were
first.
the first one to adapt it.
Yeah. That's the way that's going to happen.
But it was. I hope people realize at this point, it's only
but-
ever going to be the one episode. People keep asking, "Where's episode 2?" There isn't one.
Yeah.
Beast Morphers is a thing. It was
Yes.
a pilot. It was a concept.
It was something where
was
I would
awesome.
have done more if I decided that it was something that was workable to do more. And after doing the first episode, I determined that it was not workable. I had too many.
It took all summer to make one.
It took all summer to make one episode, and I still had, another 22 episodes worth of power reviews to work on. So it didn't make sense within my schedule.
Actually, yes, I'll signal boost that a little bit. As Athena has pointed out, stop tagging the supposed cast members.
Yeah.
Don't at actors to try and get their attention all the time.
But we'll see if we get a cast reveal at Hasbro PulseCon, which will be the virtual
Yes.
convention. It does look like we may have a gender-swapped Ranger for the first time since Wild Force in 2002.
Yeah, that's still a
So
rumor.
that would be pretty amazing.
Supposedly. But 2 of the rumored actors are musicians. Nifty.
That would be fun. Let's
Okay.
let's
so
have one of them be a bard. Let's have one of them be a bard.
Apparently, people are tagging or the actors asking them to
Yeah.
confirm. They can't.
Yeah, they can't until Hasbro says.
Like Athena's
Yeah.
saying, they can't say anything till Hasbro makes the announcement.
But we have a night theme. Please, if these people have musician backgrounds, let one of them be a bard. That would be amazing.
Brave Sir Robin ran away. Can Red be the bard? Because that just seems like
That does seem kind of co.
it's so co.
But it is looking like Green may be a female Ranger, which
That'd
I
be
think
cool.
would be our first female Green Ranger. I still want it to tie into Xandar. I still want to have like Prince Philip be like a minor recurring character. I think that would be amazing. That's my thing on that. But we'll see what they do.
Wait 2 weeks, dang it! It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Fan base has a history of disrespect to the
All right.
actors.
Yeah. So next
let's
week,
try not to do that.
next week we have episode 90 of Power Reviews coming on Friday. It's gonna kill me to do it, but I'm gonna do it. Then on Saturday we have the return of Power Rangers Beast Morphers, followed shortly by my mammoth marathon stream
12-hour stream
of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1. So I'll be doing that in 2 12-hour chunks with
sleep in between.
With sleep in between, whatever special guests I'm able to get. Another thing that I'm certainly going to kill me. And then the following weekend is Hasbro PulseCon, where we will hopefully receive some news regarding Power Rangers Dino Fury. So there's a lot of fun Power Rangers content coming at you in the next 2 weeks. I hope you all enjoyed the viewing globe last week. And I hope that you enjoy what we have coming forward. I will be doing, again, the live premiere with the new episode of Power Reviews, just like I did last time. So I'm really hoping you guys enjoy episode 90. I'll be happy to chat with you guys more about it during next weekend's stream, where, again, we are going to be raising money for wegotthevote.org. So if you want to look into that, just go to wegotthevote.org. Wegotthevote.org. All one word, except for the .org part, obviously. So I'll be talking more about that. I'll release a proper announcement video, probably Sunday night. So that'll be either tomorrow night for those of you who are in the chat, or tonight for those of you who are watching it the next day.
Or yesterday, if you decided to watch it on Monday.
Yes, that. There's also...
Or 2 days before, if you watch it on Tuesday.
Or 5 years ago. I don't know I don't know what time it is for you. I don't know if there's still an Earth. I don't know which planet you're watching this on.
Did it get sucked into a black hole and spit out again?
Like, I'm also working on making videos for my classes, so...
This is a very busy Power Rangers month.
I have so much work to do video-wise in this next week. I got 3 class videos to make, I've got Power Reviews episode 90 to release, and I've got to prep for my first ever charity live stream, which, it's going to be a trip. It's going to be a trip down memory lane.
Yeah, because you still have to learn how to use Streamlabs.
I'm still learning how to use this thing. Still trying it out, still getting the hang of it. So hopefully I'll get it all figured out by next week, because I have now committed to this for reasons. It seemed like a good weekend to do it. Although it probably would have been a better idea to wait a little longer, but I really want, honestly, it's mostly I really want to call attention to this cause while there's still time to make a difference for these people. That's the biggest thing. We're running out of time before the election.
Don't worry, Sean. If he doesn't sleep, I'll hit him with a stick until he does.
You'll be asleep yourself. You'll be asleep yourself. How will you know if I'm asleep? You'll be asleep.
If you don't come to bed, I'll know. I wake up constantly now. Let us not... See, I used to sleep all the way through the night. Now I'm pregnant. So I gotta get up several times a night. And I will notice if you are not in bed.
Fair enough. But yeah, I work from home so on Fridays. So I'm gonna dedicate all of Friday to... Once I get my virtual lessons out, I'm dedicating like all of Friday to making sure that episode 90 goes out clean and that I'm prepared.
You managed to get as far as you have at this school without the students finding you yet.
There are like a few that are aware that I have a YouTube channel, but it's not like
like the last school
where like everybody knew. So
that's because at the last school, once one person found out, they could not stop telling people.
Yeah, I'm surprised that like students found out about it and didn't like.
Yes, exactly.
Spread it around.
That's exactly it. I wasn't going to say that part out loud.
Yeah. So I think that's a good place to wrap things up for tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you, and hopefully a lot more during next week's big stream. So once I get the announcement out, please share that around to get everybody involved.
If it's a college, they're too busy to care.
No, it's a high school.
It's a high school.
I teach high school. So let's wrap it up with our final phrases. Again, these are phrases that we should all consider to be non-controversial. Number 1, say it with me, chat. Love is love. Number 2, say it with me. Trans rights are human rights. And number 3, nice and simple. Robots are cool.
But being human is awesome.
I want to listen to that song again. I want to just listen to that song again. But I'll have to do that another time. Everyone, have a great night, and until next time, farewell, Ranger fans, and let the power protect you. All right.
Good night, Chris. Good night, Sheree. Good night, Spencer.
Next time I see you guys in the chat, we'll be chatting about episode 90. And always wear a mask, indeed.
Good night, Ranger Vision.
So, time to end the stream. Thank you again, and good night to one and all.